Welcome to another prize fight. I'm Veronica Belmont, and this is the show where two gadgets enter and only one leaves. Today, by popular demand, I'm comparing the two hottest handheld gaming devices on the market, the Nintendo DS Lite versus the Sony PSP. Don't mind the GameSpot sticker there, it's a long story. Round one, design. The Sony PSP is sleek and black, although the first time I got my hands on it, I was a little scared of breaking or scratching the enormous widescreen display here. There are tons of buttons on this thing, but the layout is pretty familiar if you've ever used a PS2. It's decently light, around 6 ounces, and feels comfortable when you hold it. The DS Lite recently had a makeover, and the new version is a lot thinner and trimmer than the last. After they knocked off a little bit of the baby fat, it now weighs in at 7.66 ounces. Honestly though, when I hold both of them in my hands at the same time, they really feel the same. The DS has two screens. One is used as a touchpad for gameplay. They're not as large as the PSP's, obviously, but they do the job pretty well. The layout of the buttons and controls is cleaner and simpler than the PSP, and I feel a little more secure that if I drop this thing off my desk, it wouldn't shatter like I feel the PSP might. Your fingers are going to get a little cramped after extended play with both of these devices, but I really like the simplicity of design of the DS. That means round one goes to the Nintendo DS. Round two. Features. These handhelds do a lot more than their predecessors did. The PSP is touted as a multimedia device, but naturally can only use Sony's proprietary formats like Memory Stick Duo and UMD. Those are up here and on the side. You can buy movies to watch on this device, but judging from sales of UMD discs, not a whole lot of people, at least in the US, are biting. There are of course other ways to get videos on here other than from UMD, but it takes a lot of time and more than a few steps. You can also store and view photos and music in a variety of formats, and it even has Wi-Fi capability, which is really easy to set up. It also has a web browser built right in. The DS counterpunches with Wi-Fi of its own, so if you're near a hotspot, you can use it to play against other people. And if there's another DS nearby, the unit will sense it automatically. There's probably nothing more fun in this world than playing Mario Kart against a bunch of other people in the room. However, there isn't much by way of other media. You can't do any of the other things that the PSP can do in terms of video or audio. It's a gaming device, pure and simple. So even though you can duel against your friends with ease on both of these handhelds, the PSP will keep you entertained even after your thumbs have been cramped beyond recognition. This round therefore goes to the PSP. Round three, performance. We'll stick to gameplay in this round since the DS Lite doesn't have anything to compare to in terms of video playback, unfortunately. I have to say, games look freaking awesome on the PSP. In the past, dead pixels have plagued both PSPs and DSs alike. My own personal DS at home has one right smack dab in the middle of the screen. This problem seems to have been mostly resolved, but any device using an LCD display will have that issue from time to time. But I digress. Games look amazing on the PSP. I haven't had any trouble using the Wi-Fi in either device for gameplay, but the DS can be a little frustrating when trying to find other players out there. You need to enter a long player code to find someone in particular. I mentioned the touchscreen on the DS before, and it works really well. You can calibrate it in the settings of the DS. As for battery life, my own DS at home seems to last forever. The DS Lite, however, has a slightly less robust battery life, dying at around 5 hours of gameplay. The PSP hit 5.5 hours even at full brightness. The games on the PSP just look and sound a lot better to me, and it also comes on top for battery. They seem similar in terms of speed for starting games, but overall the performance round goes to the PSP. Naturally, when you're considering which handheld or console to buy, you want to take into account what games are offered. Personally, I prefer the games to the DS, but that's probably because I grew up a Nintendo girl and have a deep appreciation for all things Mario. It's me, Mario! There's also the matter of price. The PSP is around $100 more than the DS, but if you're looking for a sleek handheld that does it all, the PSP is your gadget. Thanks to everyone who has written in with suggestions. You can write in at prizefight@cnet.com. I'll see you next time. I'm gonna go play Loco Roco for a little while longer.